I am decked out from head to toe, literally, in my mermaid attire because we need to talk about the Little Mermaid. And I am the perfect person to talk about this because I'm Ariel and this is my channel, Naturally Mermaid. Unless you've been living under a rock, then you should know by now that there is a new Disney reboot of The Little Mermaid, and there has been some discussion about who is cast as Ariel. First of all, let's talk about my outfit, okay? I am sitting on my mermaid stool and I'm wearing my Little Mermaid socks, my Little Mermaid pajama pants, of course, my Little Mermaid shirt. I love this shirt so much because she has glasses. Hello, representation. And of course, I'm wearing a Little Mermaid bracelet that my sister got for me from Disney. And this cute necklace that my friend bought for me. I'll link the artist who made this in the description box. And lastly, I've got my mermaid earrings that I got from a little shop in Cocoa Beach in Florida. And of course, I'm drinking some tea from my Little Mermaid mug. Obviously, I am a Little Mermaid / any type of mermaid fan, particularly Black mermaids. But let's back up first. The Little Mermaid was released in 1989. I was born in 1988, so I was not named after Disney's Little Mermaid. Actually, my name is Hebrew. It means Lioness of God in Hebrew. So I was not named after the Little Mermaid, contrary to popular belief. I remember when I was in kindergarten, we watched The Little Mermaid on VHS, and every time they said Ariel, everyone would turn around and look at me. You know, it wasn't one of those popular names back then, although I have met a few Ariels my age now, but when I was in school, no one else, like in elementary school especially, no one else had my name. So it was very unique at the time. So when people say Ariel, they automatically think The Little Mermaid. Even now, even though the name is a little bit more popular, lots of people think Little Mermaid first. And for a long time, I hated that association. When I was in 3rd grade, I remember wanting to change my name. I bought a baby name book. I went through, tried to find some names, didn't find anything good. So I just ended up keeping my name. I don't know if my mom really would have changed it, but she bought the baby name book for me. So, I mean, that was kind of her to at least play along with it. But it took me until middle school to really embrace my name and the mermaid connotation that came along with it, and still does. When I was in 8th grade, I painted my room with mermaids. So I bought this book that had black mermaids in it, and I used it as a guide to paint mermaids on my wall. I even had Flounder there, and I think Sebastian too. So it was a really big moment of acceptance of my name, which is weird, but you know, you carry your name around with you for your entire life, and to not feel comfortable with it, then that can really take a toll on maybe your self-esteem or whatever. I don't know. I was young, but I definitely remember just feeling some type of way about my name. And then I do believe that finding that book with black mermaids on it was a self-realization, and like it helped me feel more comfortable about myself and being associated with mermaids, because obviously the Little Mermaid looks nothing like me. And so for people to be like, oh, like the Little Mermaid, you know, like I didn't really feel any type of connection with her. But then seeing that mermaids can be black, of course they can. It's a fictional character. Mermaids can be whatever color that they want to be. So realizing that I can like mermaids and also feel comfortable in my own skin was a really eye-opening and self-accepting point in my life. My first screen name for AOL Online was Black Mermaid. It was spelled B-L-A-Q-U-E, like the group Black from the late 90s, early 2000s, because I really like them. but it was called Black Mermaid, and that was, you know, another way of me embracing it. Like, I just love mermaids now. Since middle school, high school, I've really identified as being a Black mermaid. You know, people love mermaids. People whose names aren't Ariel like mermaids too, even though I feel like I have some type of possession over mermaids because I am Ariel, the Little Mermaid. But everyone else, is okay. You can like mermaids too, no problem. I'll share. But I really identified as a Black mermaid, and whenever I come across anything like art or anything that has a Black mermaid on it, I'm like, I have to buy it because it's rare to find Black mermaids. And they're fictional characters, so why couldn't they exist? Now let's talk about this new movie. When I first heard that The Little Mermaid was going to be made into a live action movie, I was not excited. Honestly, I haven't been super pumped about any of these Disney live remake movies. I watched Beauty and the Beast and I fell asleep on it. It just, it wasn't fun, you know, and knowing that The Little Mermaid is going to be very CGI'd, I was just like, why make a live version? You know, it's just gonna be so much CGI, yada yada. I just didn't think that it would be that great. But now that they've announced that Halle Bailey from Chloe and Halle, they are a singing duo, sisters, who made their start here on YouTube doing covers.
Pretty high, shining like what heavens was.
And then they've been on the show Grownish, which I really enjoy. I've seen, you know, almost every episode of that show. I really like them, both the sisters, Chloe and Halle. But when I saw that Halle was going to be the Little Mermaid, I was like, what? I am completely in. Like, it really made me super excited. One, because I really like her as an actress. She has an amazing voice, so I think that she'll be really good in the role. And then two, she's a Black mermaid, because in all honesty, it is a fictional character. It doesn't matter what race she is. Sure, Disney's rendition of The Little Mermaid, the original 1989 rendition of The Little Mermaid, is white with red hair. The race of the Little Mermaid doesn't really matter to the story. She can be any race. And actually, I don't know a bunch about the history of the original Little Mermaid story because it is a fairy tale that dates back to like 1837. So over 150 years before Disney released their Little Mermaid movie, this was a fairy tale. Back in 1837, the Little Mermaid probably was white anyway because, you know, there was still slavery in the US, and I don't know if the story originates from Europe or whatever. But in the 1800s, Black people in the West didn't have very many rights, so, or representation or anything, so automatically, of course, she would be white. But again, it doesn't matter the race of a mermaid because they're fictional characters, and it has no weight on the story. There's a certain sect of people who are not thrilled about the Little Mermaid being of color. And I just think that it's silly. You know, I get it. I would be upset if there was a character that I really liked. Would I? I don't know. I want to say I get it. Like, everyone's entitled to their opinion, of course. You know, you can be upset about it. I will say that as a person of color who grew up loving the Little Mermaid despite her race, and finding a way to identify and embrace my name and my identity, really. Do you guys remember Brandy being Cinderella? I love that movie. I was probably about 11 when that movie came out, so I bought the Barbie, I bought the movie because it was Black representation in a fairy tale, again, that has no weight on what the race of the person is. It really didn't matter. As a child, and even as a grown adult, being able to see yourself on screen, because there are a lot of children these days who are brown and black who rarely see themselves in film. And honestly, it is important. Maybe this is something that people who aren't of color can't really relate to because you're so used to seeing white people in commercials and in movies. You know, I watch so many movies that have white people in it. And yeah, I relate to the story, but there are differences in how we grow up and are conditioned. And, you know, our view of the world is different than a white person. But again, we're going back to the Little Mermaid. Her race doesn't matter. Her identity as a black person is not even gonna come up in the film. It's basically just a skin color. It has no weight on the story of the film. And it's also good too, I think, for little white children to see more brown people on screen, especially in a neutral way where it's not telling a story of specifically black people, like this is the plight of black people. It's just the same story with a different face. Who says mermaids can't be black? No one. So let's just take this as a win for everyone. There will be another Little Mermaid movie where the lead is white. You know, this is not the last Little Mermaid movie ever. It's fine. So that's my 2 cents on Halle Bailey being the first Black Little Mermaid. I am so excited. I cannot wait to see this movie. I'm really hoping that the entire cast is going to be diverse and it doesn't matter what race people are, because we're all under the ocean. Mermaids aren't real. They don't look like humans, most likely. If they were real, they probably look disgusting. So let's all just enjoy this new era of The Little Mermaid. I really think it's gonna be great. Make sure that you like this video if you liked it and subscribe to the channel so you can see more Little Mermaid content. Maybe one day I'll do a full tour of my mermaid paraphernalia that I own. And I also do mermaid arts and crafts because I love mermaids, obviously. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao!